For the vast majority of our story, there were no cities, no written languages, no laboratories. When the sun went down, our earliest ancestors sat by a flickering fire, looked up, and faced an endless ocean of stars. They lived in a world of immense, terrifying power. Storms arrived without warning, lightning struck the plains, volcanoes shook the earth, and rivers flooded, yet no one could say where this power came from. Early humans could track the mechanics of their reality, the sun rising, the seasons turning, and the cycles of life and death. But observing these patterns was different from understanding their purpose. Long before we built telescopes to measure the galaxies or particle accelerators to map the quantum realm, humanity possessed exactly one instrument to examine existence: the human mind. When human consciousness awoke, it began to demand a why for the things it saw. This was a new kind of hunger, a primal drive to find meaning that went far beyond the simple requirements of survival. Along the fertile banks of the Nile River, one of humanity's oldest civilizations built its identity by looking out into the physical systems of the world. Ancient Egyptians developed the principle of Ma'at. They proposed that the universe was not a collection of random accidents, but was governed by a divine sense of truth, balance, and harmony. This served as an ancient unified theory. The rotation of the stars, the flooding of the Nile, and the conduct of rulers were all viewed as parts of the same sacred pattern. Further south, in the highlands of ancient Ethiopia, another culture looked outward to find a different kind of structure. Ethiopian tradition focused on the concept of sacred history. To them, time was not a sequence of disconnected events, but a deliberate narrative driven by a divine purpose. They meticulously wove their royal lineages and historical struggles into a continuous record, treating human actions as a vital part of an ongoing, holy story. Whether they looked to the flooding rivers or the pages of history, these early frameworks provided stability. They convinced humans that they were necessary components of a massive, predictable machine. But in the Mediterranean, ancient Greece introduced a method that changed how we approach the unknown. Their thinkers proposed that existential truth was not something only revealed by gods or nature, but something that could be deduced through systematic thought. They relied on a new instrument: reason. A lineage of philosophers argued that by using the rules of logic, the human mind could pierce through confusion and identify the true nature of reality. By treating logic as a formal tool, the Greeks transformed the search for meaning. They weaponized the intellect to interrogate the world around them. While some focused on the external world, other civilizations used the power of deep questioning to turn the search inward, toward the mind itself. In India, ancient Sanskrit texts known as the Upanishads began to investigate human perception. These thinkers worked to distinguish the physical world from the potential illusions created by our own senses. They concluded that the ultimate mystery to be solved was not in the stars, but in the nature of consciousness and the self. Meanwhile, in ancient China, thinkers like Lao Tzu and Confucius looked for a middle path between the inner mind and the outer world. They described the Tao, the underlying harmony and interconnectedness of all things. Their goal was to align human consciousness with the natural flow of the universe. By mapping the inner mind, these Eastern philosophies demonstrated that the landscape of our own awareness is just as vast and vital as the physical universe. Cosmic order, sacred history, rational logic, internal consciousness, natural harmony. These cultures were separated by geography and used vastly different symbols to explain their world. Yet every one of them was grappling with the same shared human experiences of birth, suffering, and death. These ancient frameworks did not disappear. They became the bedrock for all the theology, philosophy, and scientific inquiry we use today. We still look up at the same silent cosmos as our ancestors. We have better tools, but the mystery remains. Every one of our modern equations and religious traditions eventually faces the same ultimate boundary, the question that still challenges every thinker today: what existed before the universe, before time, and before matter even began?